About 6 months ago, I finally decided to create my own dedicated gaming setup. And a big part of that setup was choosing the right monitor. And if you have been following me here on my YouTube channel, you know that I documented my experience of using different types of monitors on my setup. And the final monitor I decided to go with was the ASUS ROG XG32UCWG, which is a 32-inch OLED gaming monitor. Despite having initial issues with this monitor, the replacement unit has been working really well for me. So in this video, I wanted to share with you my experience of using this monitor on my gaming setup, and after 6 months of using it, is it worth it? Okay, let's first talk about the things that are really good about this monitor and the reason why I'm still using it. So number one is the hardware and the external design. So I've tried many gaming monitors on my setup, and to be honest with you, a lot of them have been designed really well and they look really nice. Some of them struggle with poor hardware, some of them struggle with not so good aesthetics, and few others struggle with not having a good tint on the screen when they're turned off. Nevertheless, most of them look really good on the setup, but the ASUS ROG by far looks the best. And the reason is it's got really nice back panel. It's designed very nicely, but it's also got really good hardware. So it doesn't feel plasticky or cheap. To be honest with you, as soon as I unboxed it, which I shared in my previous video, I'll leave the link in my description. As soon as I unboxed this monitor, I could feel the premium touch and the care that they've taken in making this monitor look premium. And there's no doubt about it. I mean, it does look really nice. And at times I wish that I could turn my setup, which is behind me, other way around so you guys can actually see the back of the monitor, because it's generally worth showing it off. So if you've got a gaming setup and you've got friends and family coming around, I mean, this monitor from behind just looks like a beast and it looks really premium. So yeah, so design wise, 10 out of 10. And it's not only about how it looks, it's also how it feels. The material doesn't feel cheap and plasticky. I've tried a few gaming monitors where the material felt really cheap. And to be honest with you, I was a bit disappointed after paying like £600 for a monitor purely for gaming, and it feels cheap. Whereas the ASUS monitor didn't feel cheap at all. When you touch the material, it actually feels premium, it feels solid. You're not worried that it's going to just crack or break. So yeah, from hardware perspective, also it does feel really premium. Okay, now we are talking about overall aesthetics. When the monitor is actually turned off, which it is right now, it's pitch black. Because it's got true black screen and it's got really nice coating on top, you don't get the greyish tint on the monitor. So a lot of the monitors that I've tried on my gaming setup, when you turn those monitors off, because they got the anti-reflection coating on, they leave the greyish tint when it's turned off, which doesn't look nice. I mean, I've got this room which is painted in sort of blackish grey color. And if you have a monitor that kind of looks a bit greyish when it's turned off, it just doesn't look nice. So I'm quite particular about aesthetics and how a particular piece of tech looks on my setup. If it doesn't look nice, it will not be on display. And for me, I'm actually proud of having this monitor on my display, because every time I look at it, whether it's on or off, it just looks bloody good. So from design, build quality, and overall aesthetics, this monitor is definitely the best one I've tried on my gaming setup. And that's one of the main reasons why it continues to be part of my setup. Because if you guys know me on Instagram, I create videos, which are more aesthetically pleasing and, it has more premium tech in it. So I need tech on display that don't only look nice, but they also look premium. And this one takes that box easily. Okay, now let's talk about the main part. The reason why you actually got a gaming monitor in the first place is to play games on it. I'm not going to go deep into specs, but there are a few points that I would like to highlight in this video. Number one is a true black OLED display. So unlike many other OLED displays who have this anti-coating reflection on, and a few other OLED displays that you find on standard TVs, this one is different because the true black technology allows you to play games, especially those games which are in sort of dark mode. You get to see the detail very clearly. And it's really important for me when I'm playing fast-paced games like Call of Duty or Battlefield. I need to see the detail, and I can easily see the enemy. I can easily see the the different way outs and stuff like that. So it's really good experience when gaming on this monitor because of that particular one feature. And if I have to say what is the best thing about this monitor, I would say is that true black display. Not only that, the contrasts are rich, the colors are rich, and everything just looks so nice on this. In fact, recently I also tried my Apple TV on this monitor, and yeah, it just looked so good. The content on it looked phenomenal. So if you have a PlayStation 5 hooked up to this monitor, it's not just about gaming. You can also watch media on it. You can watch YouTube, you can watch TV series and movies, whatever. Everything will look crisp and clean. It genuinely looks really, really good. So I can't probably show you on the camera and probably won't do justice to it, but you have to see it in person. If you get a chance to go into store and look at the display in person, I strongly recommend you, because definitely the true black OLED technology is definitely the best. And yeah, I would definitely recommend this monitor if that is the one key point that you're looking for with regards to your experience on playing on a display. there's nothing better than this that I've tried on my gaming setup so far. And I know a lot of gamers are concerned about reflections on OLED monitors. To be honest with you, I had none of that issue. I mean, my monitor is not facing a window. The windows are behind the monitor. But even if I have, like, I have a light on right now when I'm recording the video, and even if I was showing you guys playing PlayStation on this monitor, there isn't that much of a reflection issue as I see how many people are actually talking about it. So I wouldn't worry about reflections. I mean, my room is quite lit up. Obviously, I've got studio lights, and I've obviously turned the curtains on when I'm not filming. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So none of that issue exists in my case, and I'm definitely enjoying my gaming on this monitor. Okay, next up is the refresh rate. So the reason you get a dedicated monitor most of the times is because you get high refresh rate. And it's more relevant for PC gamers and not so much for PlayStation users, because PlayStation can go max to 120 Hertz. This monitor goes to 165 Hertz. So you're not even using the full capacity of this monitor. But if you had, or if I had a PC setup, which hopefully I will have one day, I would probably even want to go higher than that in terms of refresh rate. But I think 165 is a sweet spot for both PlayStation users and also PC users. If you've got both gaming setup, like a PC and PlayStation, I think 165 is a quite sweet spot, unless you're a pro gamer and you want that high spec refresh rate. But to be honest with you, a majority of you will be okay with 165 because it's more than enough for PS5 and also a good enough refresh rate for PC games. But then talking about my experience of using my PlayStation on this monitor, again, the refresh rate probably helped, but I didn't notice it as much because the TV I was using before was also 120 Hertz. So I didn't notice too much difference from going to a standard TV to the monitor. But there are differences that I've noticed definitely, which I'll touch on in a minute. But in terms of refresh rate, it's good to have it, but it's not a deal breaker in my opinion, especially for PlayStation users. For PS users, it's a key point, right? But for PlayStation users, it doesn't matter too much. I think the true black OLED is key, and that does make a huge difference. So the other main reason why I still prefer ASUS monitor for my gaming setup is because when I'm sitting close to the monitor, which you would if you have a dedicated gaming setup, the detail on this monitor are exceptional. I mean, I talked about true black, talked about the good contrast, the rich colors and everything else. But when you're gaming on a dedicated monitor, unlike your traditional TV, you're staying far on a sofa or you have a big distance between you and the gameplay. But when you're playing on a dedicated monitor on a setup like mine, you're very close to the monitor. And you probably have seen some professional gamers going really right up to the nose of the monitor. But that's crucial because when you are so close to the monitor, it needs to stand up with the quality that it's producing, and the visuals are really good. So if you go to standard TV or some monitors where you get really close to the monitor, you see the pixels, you see the details. But with this monitor, you see none of that. It's really crisp and clear and generally a good experience playing game, whether you are sitting very close to it or in further distance. In both cases, the experience is top notch. Okay, so those were the main reasons why this monitor is still part of my gaming setup. However, there are things on this monitor that are not so good. And to be honest with you, if there's any monitor out there in the future which can do everything that's good about this, plus can improve the things that are not so good about it, I'm definitely going to upgrade and change my monitor. So let's talk about things I'm not too pleased with this monitor. Okay, number one is the menu and the general UI on this monitor. You don't have to have a fancy UI because you're not doing anything on the UI apart from just changing settings. But it should at least be user-friendly, and it's not. And that's not just true with this monitor. There are other monitors that I've tried before, had the same issue. I think Gigaset is the only one where I was pretty happy with the menu. I mean, happy is probably pushing it too much, but I was pleased with it. It was usable. But with the ASUS monitor, the menus, in my experience, are not so user-friendly. It's not easy to navigate to. You don't know exactly what each of the things mean. And yeah, it's confusing and there's so much information. Some of them are not even relevant for end users. But yeah, it's there and it feels complex. The other aspect of UI which I'm not too pleased with is when you have to update your firmware. So when I first got this monitor, it didn't come with the latest firmware, so I had to update it to the latest version. And then I've done a few more updates since. But doing the update is not very straightforward. You have to connect certain type of cables and you have to connect your laptop to your monitor. A few of the guys have done really good video on YouTube which explains the process really easily. But yeah, if you don't have access to YouTube or don't find that video, it can be bit of a frustrating process. It certainly was for me, and I'm very tech savvy, at least that's what I think. But I was struggling with it, let alone someone who just got this monitor, their first monitor as a gaming monitor. You will struggle to update the firmware. It is a bit of a process, and you have to have access to a laptop, certain cables. They do provide those cables, but it just, yeah, it's not very straightforward. Okay, apart from UI, there's one feature on this monitor which is promoted as one of the USPs, key selling points for this monitor, is the fact that it can turn auto on off to prevent burn-in. I mean, it's got a sensor on the front and it detects if you're present in front of the monitor or not. So let's say you start playing a game and you get a phone call or you get someone knocking on the door, you go downstairs, you come back up, it would have automatically turned off the monitor to prevent burn-in issues. But the issue is sometimes I'm in front of the monitor, I'm just leaning back on my chair, and doesn't recognize me, and therefore it just turns off. And that happens in the middle of online gaming. And if you are a pro gamer or even just, an advanced gamer, you know that pain of you got to a certain level, you just got to get to the one little step, and then that happens. It's not great. I wish that they had a better sensor or something that detects if you're actually playing the game, rather than having a front infrared sensor that detects a person or object in front of it. So I had to put my hand in front and turn it back on. So I definitely don't think it's a USB. I think it's probably doing the wrong thing for them. A lot of people say it's great because it auto prevents your monitor from burn-in issues. But I mean, if you're interrupting someone's gameplay, it's not a great feature to talk about. So in my experience, I wish that they could improve that detection. And as I said before, either you detect if someone is playing the game or have better sensors that can detect maybe movement, I don't know, maybe somehow connect to your console or something like that, a Bluetooth device. But yeah, it has to be better because at the moment it's disruptive and it's annoying. Okay, a couple of other things from a hardware perspective that I'm not too pleased with, especially considering the price tag. Number one, it doesn't come with any built-in speakers. I mean, it's not end of the world. Most of us use headsets or we have dedicated speakers. But the point is, if someone is going out there and buying this monitor connected to their console or PC and not having the speaker is a bit of a disappointment, because someone who just getting started, as I mentioned, you need to then buy more accessories. You need to buy a headset, you then buy a speaker. In my case, I bought 2 speakers and also bought a headset in case I'm playing late in the night. But that shouldn't be the case with a premium monitor. They should come with inbuilt speakers. And there are some other monitors in the market of similar price tag that do. So I'm not sure why ASUS left that out. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's a bit of a disappointment. And lastly, I wish it came with the remote control, because there are times when you want to turn off your monitor because you just turned off your console or you want to turn it on. Every time putting your finger on back of the monitor, trying to turn it on, it's not a good experience again. So I wish that it came with a very small, minimal remote control that can easily turn it on, off, or temporarily turn the display off. Something like that would be good, because the menus are not great. So navigating through the menu just to turn off the monitor is also a bit of a pain. So I think if they had included a remote control, it would have made the experience better and probably overshadowed the ugly looking menu completely. So yeah, considering the price tag, I wish that those things were also included in the hardware: the speaker, the remote control, better infrared detection, better detection of person actually playing the game or not playing the game. I mean, these are the things that I would have expected it to have anyway, but it doesn't. But none of these are deal breakers, and that's the reason why I continued using this monitor on my setup. Because the key reason why you get a monitor is because it needs to have a good display, a true black OLED display, so you can enjoy your gaming experience. High refresh rate, aesthetically pleasing, good build quality, great design. It ticks all those key boxes for me, and that's why this monitor is my recommended monitor for anyone looking to get their first monitor for their gaming setup. And even if you currently have a gaming monitor and would like to move to an OLED monitor, this one definitely ticks a lot of boxes and will be my recommendation. This video was not sponsored by anyone, so this is my honest feedback and my honest recommendation to you guys. So if you're looking for a gaming monitor, if you can live with those not so good features, then yeah, this is a solid pick. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.